Hey, Arman here, and on this video, we're gonna finish up with understanding hormones. Kind of like a three-part series, but it's because there's a lot to know when it comes to hormones. So in this topic, we're gonna talk about the prostate-specific antigen. Probably familiar with that. Most doctors are doing that test on a regular basis. And what it is, we're checking the protein produced by the prostate gland and basically looking for elevated levels, which can be a sign of prostate cancer. So some things to understand about when you have your PSA checked. First and foremost, if it came up high, a couple things you want to reflect back on. Did you have sex the night before? Were you sitting at a desk all day long? And you've been sitting at a desk a lot. Did you ride a bike or something that would put pressure on that area? Or did you do heavy squats and deadlifts, lifts like that can affect that area? And if that's the case, then it would make sense to do another test to make sure that it wasn't an improper reading. Most people don't think about that. And then when you go to the doctor's office, they see an elevated PSA level, they start thinking, oh, we got potential cancer here, things like that. So that's one thing I want to make sure you understand is those things can cause it to give a higher reading, but then they'll bounce right back once the swelling went down, just because of what we're doing to the area. So those things can affect it. So heavy weightlifting like squats and deadlifts, sex the night before, riding a bike, like a stationary bike or whatever, or bicycle, and then sitting in a chair a long period of time, that can cause it to swell. All right. Now, what I like to do is to help be on the offensive and be preventative is I use a product called Ultra Prostate Plus, which has different supplements in it, herbs and stuff, that help to be a preventative for the prostate. And so far, that's been working pretty good for me. I've been on that for a number of years, and my readings have always come back pretty good, at this point. So, but like anything else, you want to check and then get a jump start on it if your reading came up, just to, with supplementation to help correct it. And then, if you did need additional testing, we're going to talk about some things you want to consider. So if your reading came up, there's two parts to the PSA. You have a free PSA as well. And what this is every time we talk about free, like free testosterone or whatever, it just means it's not bound to other proteins or bound to something else. So it's floating around your bloodstream. And so when they typically do a free PSA check, that's additional screening to maybe see if there is a cancerous possibility. And so what this does, when they check that, they want the lower ratio of the free to the total. So that's what you want to do, because what this can do is it can be, again, a sign that you may have cancer, but at the same time, the free, if it comes in with it being higher, then you're good to go, not necessarily worry about it. A lot of docs don't order that, so that's why we're bringing it up. Most of your docs are really professional about it. They're going to have that and do some checking way before they ever decide to do a biopsy to see if there's any cancerous cells, that kind of thing. And again, you want to test. So you don't want to just do one test, all of a sudden, hit the panic button. Okay, what are we going to do? How serious is this? Do multiple tests, because you'll be surprised sometimes how that'll come back. All right, so again, that's you have the free PSA and the total. And again, the total basically includes the free PSA, just to clarify. So that's why they do a percentage of it when they check that free to see how the ratio is. Okay. Then another hormone, which a lot of people are familiar with, probably more so than other things, would be cortisol. Now, cortisol has a bonus effect and also a detrimental effect, depending on how it's working for you and how you're initiating it. Cortisol is the stress hormone. So if you're under a lot of stress, you're going to have elevated cortisol levels, and that's going to want you to crave food in a lot of cases. And that's where some people, they do stress eating because of elevated cortisol levels. And it can cause a lot of problems for your health. I mean, it can be a serious situation, like Cushing's syndrome and a couple of others. So what you want to do is that cortisol is, it's a hormone produced by the adrenal glands, which is above the kidneys. And it does have a lot of benefits. It helps regulate your metabolism, helps your immune system, and it helps manage stress. So, it's a good thing to have. It's just that you want to not let it get out of control, because when it starts to get too high and not clear out, which exercise is excellent for keeping your cortisol levels under control. Again, exercise helps a lot of these things. But if it starts getting out of control, then it could cause you to have the stress eating, and also a lot of cravings for sugary foods and fatty foods and things that probably processed, and you want to eat more of those, and that's not helping you at all. And it's not going to help your stress either, for that matter. So get your cortisol levels checked. If you're getting some more body weight than you need, and you're eating more food and you can't control it, then that would be a good reason to have your cortisol levels checked. I typically get it checked once a year to see how I'm doing. And you typically want to have, when you have your blood work done for cortisol, I like to do it in the morning. So this is another tip that I think would help. But again, it's just a matter of talking to your medical professional. And again, if you're working with our people, they're going to give you the guidance on what to know about it. All right, so that's a wrap up on the hormones. It's again, a lot to know. And again, with hormones, you want to understand know what the optimal levels are, and then what we can do about them to help them stay in optimal range or get them back in optimal range, so that you got that vitality, you got the energy, just like when you're younger. Because when you're younger, you have all this energy and all this, you feel bulletproof because your hormones are so high. But as time goes by and they start to decline, that causes a lag and starts causing these other things to happen, but it's all fixable. So the quicker you get on it and you balance them, then the longer they're going to last, which that's what you want. You want to live longer and be real mobile and have a good looking physique. Get the best of both worlds. Make a lot of money and also live long, so you can enjoy that hard-earned wealth. All right, so that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Of course, if you have questions, pop those into the group and we can talk about it. All right, talk to you soon.